America is the only place in the world where a shooting at a university is then interrupted by breaking news of a shooting at a high school.
In gun stores outnumbering KFC locations, Americans can purchase weapons more easily than fast food.
Please stay safe, especially if you're traveling to America. Stay safe. This country is not safe.
Imagine that you escape the war of your homeland. You come to a foreign country. You go onto a subway. It's any other day. Only for that day to be your very last day because you unknowingly sat next to a monster.
Hello everyone, my name is Terry Sweetberry, and today I want to talk about a tragic death that has happened in the United States recently. Sorry, it's so sad what happened, but her name was Irina Zaruska. Please send prayers to her family, to her, because this situation is just so tragic and was so preventable. This sweet and beautiful girl was murdered in North Carolina, Charlotte, on a subway. And you might be wondering, Terry Sweetberry, why are you talking about this? For two reasons, actually. One is Zaruska actually left Ukraine to escape the Ukraine and Russia war, and only to escape to America and get brutally stabbed to death. And not only that, but her killer, DeCarlos Brown Jr., was released from jail 14 times. Yeah, you heard me right. 14 times this guy was released from jail. It just highlights a big issue that underlies our American justice system. That people that have been arrested for really aggressive, dangerous, aggravated crimes keep getting released back into the public. Because the American justice system is like, yeah, you know this guy who's like committed like many armed robberies, you know, and has beat many people to like an inch of their lives. I think he's done his time. You know, he served his 6 years, most likely 2-year prison sentence. Yeah, let's release him. He's good now. No, I'm not joking either. And the similar thing happens all the time with predators. Repeat offenders, repeat predators. They get off scot-free, only a few months in jail or prison, whichever, and that's it. Because we have a system that releases dangerous individuals back into society with no rehabilitation, and if anything, putting them in jail makes them worse. In my last video, I mentioned how a lot of people, when you put them in prison, they still have access to drugs, which is true. Drugs are everywhere in jails and prisons, everywhere. You can't escape it. So if you put a drug addict in jail, they're just gonna keep being a drug addict because you can't escape drugs in prison, because they're always gonna get smuggled in. And for violent repeat offenders, the same thing, the same concept goes. So my mom, like I said before, she's an LCSW social worker. She has worked in many places, and the many places that she has worked at include prisons. And for violent people, they need mental help. My mom has even told people before when she worked in prisons, like, hey, I'm working with this guy and he is not remorseful, he's not taking accountability, and I'm genuinely thinking that if he's released back into society, he will kill someone. That has happened many times before because she mentally evaluates people. But the sad truth is that you don't get enough people like my mom who work in prisons. Then it leads to very violent, aggressive people appealing their sentences or just getting off really early, scot-free, and committing the crimes again and again and again till someone gets murdered. And what's horrible is that the stabbing is going viral online right now, and it's just, I can't imagine the family's grief and sadness and just overall horror, like this complete horror watching that. Just having people rewatch your child's death over and over again, because she died alone. No one tried to help her. No one went after the guy. I mean, I kind of understand that, again, because he had a knife, but only one guy rushed over to help her when she collapsed on the ground, but by then that was too late. And honestly, even then, where he stabbed her, regardless if pressure was even put on right away or if someone tried to help her right away, it was just Her death came seconds after she was stabbed to death. But again, all of this was preventable if our justice system would actually keep violent offenders behind bars for the rest of their life. If they actually kept irredeemable trash of society behind bars, then yeah, this would have not happened. If mental health accessibility and just more mental health resources were available in jails and prisons, this might have not happened. But overall, the death of Zaruska is on the American justice system because they failed her. I'm just going to show beautiful pictures of this sweet angel, and again, please send prayers to her family, to her, because this was just horrible, unneeded, very preventable. And yeah, have a great day. Stay safe. So if you're traveling to America, please be safe. And bye-bye.
Here's another reason why I say China is better than America, because there's no mass shootings. You got people getting assassinated at universities.
Hey guys, it's Ian in China, and I just wanted to say it is absolutely horrible what happened to Charlie Kirk in America today. Whether you're left or right, I think this is highlighting a lot of problems happening in American culture today. The society is just so divided. I think people are given the illusion of choice of picking between two parties, of which neither has your actual benefit in mind. They're simply doing what their handlers and higher-ups and donors tell them to do. Seeing that video shocked me, and it made me feel sick the entire morning. It just shows you how fragile life really is, and I think this one hits so hard because Charlie was seriously just a regular guy that spoke his mind, and this is what he got for it. I really think it highlights the divide and the absolute hate between the right and left. This is actually why I prefer living in China. I can't stand the toxic political climate that exists in America. I feel like it's designed to make you angry and stressed out, and I don't have time for that. I really prefer the climate here in China, which is total unity in the country. You don't see people melting down on each other over this kind of thing. There aren't crazy arguments between left and right. Everyone just wants what is best for the country, as it should be. Now in America, I am pro-gun because guns are everywhere, but after being here for so long, it just seems like a gun-free society just works better overall. I do get the old ancient argument, but believe me, the American public is not going against the military. Good luck with that. I just don't see any real benefit from it. Ironically, it's also sad that Charlie was pro-gun, and look what happened. But overall, my heart goes out to the family, and America really lost a good one today. I know I'm living far away in China, but I do still care about what happens at home. My name's Ian. Follow me to see more about why I live in China.
Yo, if that Charlie Kirk incident doesn't show you that you need to get the hell out of America as soon as you can, I don't know what will. And I don't mean to be hyperbolic or overreactionary, but the United States of America is a conflicted country. And it's just scary to live in a country that have, two different ideologies that are represented equally, that are vastly different. And it feels like one day the United States is leaning more towards the left, then it's leaning more towards the right. And that just causes so much confusion and instability amongst the citizens that live there. Of course, there's going to be all this violence, conflict, and disagreement. It's because America cannot choose one direction to go towards. Democracy is a scam. It gives you the illusion of having the freedom of choice, the freedom of speech. You don't. All this democracy is doing is keeping two parties with vastly varying opinions and ideologies at each other's necks. And that makes us easier to control. When we're constantly fighting, constantly disagreeing, and constantly trying to impose our way of thinking from the two sides among the other party. It's going to lead to nowhere but destruction. And the only way to fix it is for America to choose a direction. Stop flipping back and forth between the left and the right. There needs to be a middle ground, and stick to that middle ground so there can be progression.
Charlie Kirk's shocking murder embodies America's vicious cycle of gun violence that claims 45 lives daily, while politicians remain powerless to stop it. The statistics defy comprehension. With over 60,000 gun stores outnumbering KFC locations, Americans can purchase weapons more easily than fast food. Handguns start at $300, while ghost guns arrive by mail requiring only home assembly, completely untraceable by law enforcement. The brutal irony is inescapable. Kirk joined the growing list of shooting victims just days after flags were lowered for church massacre victims. His death occurred in Texas, where 18-year-olds can buy rifles before they can legally purchase alcohol. America's gun addiction stems from constitutional protection and ruthless lobbying. The National Rifle Association's 4 million members outspend gun control advocates 100 to 1, using fear campaigns that actually increase sales after mass shootings by warning, "They're coming for your guns next." The solutions are paralyzed by design. Federal law prohibits national gun registration, meaning nobody knows how among 400 million privately owned firearms circulate alongside 3D printed ghost weapons. When a pro-gun activist gets murdered during a gun debate, the conversation isn't about rights anymore. It's about survival in a nation choosing weapons over lives.
I have made the decision that I will not be raising my kids in the United States, if I ever do have any. And the reasoning for that is very simple. 26 years ago, the Columbine shooting happened. And then 26 years later, there hasn't been a single change to do anything about these school shootings, about anything with gun violence, and nothing has been changed when it comes to the Second Amendment and gun laws and gun restrictions. It has remained the same because millions of people would rather keep their guns than to care about the children who has lost their lives in these school shootings. In these mass shootings that happen at malls, that happen at concerts, that happen at parks, festivals, schools, you name it, it has happened. Hospitals even. But people have the audacity to say to me that I live in the greatest country in the world. How? Why? I don't care anymore at this point. I want to be safe. I want my future family to be safe. I want my wife, whoever she may be, to be safe. I do not want to be fighting for the rest of my life for a country that never even gave a damn about us, that never gave a damn about my family, my friends, and never gave a damn about other children. I refuse to live in a country like that. Let me make this painfully clear. I don't care what you say. If you genuinely think that America is the greatest country in the world, you are flawed. You are absolutely flawed. At this point, I would rather live in a country with barely any freedom of speech, but a safe nation, where my kids can grow up to be safe, happy, and carefree. If my freedom of speech is more restricted and limited in a different country, wherever that may be, I would rather have that and peace over anything else. That's where I'm at right now. Because truth be told, I am exhausted. I want my people, my family, my friends, my future family that I will build one day. I want them all to leave this country and never return. Go to a country where you can be successful, be happy, be at peace, be at wonder. Now, obviously, there is racism and colorism everywhere you go. There's no escaping that. But I can guarantee almost all of you, you will find a country out there that is best suited for you. I don't know exactly when I'm leaving, not no time soon, but one day. But it's clear as day that this country will never change unless a civil war happens. But even if a civil war happens, will the country change for the better or for the worse? That is a 50-50 chance. That is a gamble. And not sure if that's a gamble I want to take. With that being said, yes, I am leaving the United States one day, permanently. And I encourage others to do the same, and especially when it comes to Black people. I understand there are many immigrants, the Caribbeans, the Latinos, Hispanics, the Chinese, the Vietnamese, the people from the African continent. There are many who comes here seeking a better life. And if this is where you are happy, then by all means. But you don't have the audacity to tell me what to do with my freedom, what to do with my life, my goals, and my sanity and my peace. Because I will always argue there are multiple countries out there that are way better than America will ever be. That's all I gotta say on the matter. It's Onyx, and I'm gone.
Listen, I'm so sick what happened to Charlie Kirk. Freedom? Freedom to be end up like this? Freedom what? Tell me. So what happened today, it's just like a deja vu, right? Replicating again and again. It's like you having a nightmare and you wake up, you fell asleep, and just did it again. That is just so fucking sick. So he's a father of a kid, and so am I. Sick of this. I'm out.
I'm officially fed up with America, And this time when I leave, I'm probably not going to come back for a very long time. Nothing is going to change. This country is absolutely broken and there's no fixing it. I'm done. 1000% I'm done.
I don't know what is left to happen for Americans to understand that the concept of freedom that they're having isn't really the type of freedom that can set them free. I don't know if I'm making sense. What is left to happen for Americans to realize that carrying a gun isn't a flex, isn't something that they should boast about as they speak of freedom? We have seen free countries, people moving freely, people affording meals, people moving outside at night, people doing stuff. Like, what is freedom for you?